So here's the thing. You're out there like many other folks searching for employment simply because of a few reasons. One, you're out of a job and you need to have cash in your pocket. Or two, you're one of the individuals who are just tired of your mediocre job and you just simply want to make a career change. Now don't take this as an advice video for job searching, because this right here is a rant. I put it this way, many people out there would obviously agree with me on this topic. Okay, there are people with liberal minds always stating this baloney excuse of why people aren't looking for a job, talking about the economy is still in deep ruins. Okay, if that was so, why are there jobs popping up everywhere, every day? Even if the economy was at its low point, you would still have to search for jobs on the internet or get off your rear end and hit the bricks to whatever place you want to inquire about a job at. Worst of all, whatever establishment you apply to can say, well, we're not hiring at the moment, but we're gladly taking in applications, which will indicate they will most likely give you a big middle finger by hiring any random person they want, or not at all. The economy isn't improving by much at all, but still there are places to go to work at. I know this happens to just about everyone. Say for instance, the previous employer you used to work at gave you the boot, and you're not guaranteed any unemployment. You're pretty much screwed. If you're trying to go to places for a new job, how would you get to funds for either gas money or public transit in the event where you go to whatever location they're trying to tell you to apply in person? You can't, because you have no way of getting by. And I'll tell you this much right here. Applying for jobs on the internet are even pointless in this case. But I'll get to that point later on in this topic. Now, if unemployment was given to you and you tried your best to find a job, especially to the point when your unemployment benefits were exhausted, how else will you get by in that matter? How will you survive? How will you pay all your dues like rent, utilities, car payments, student loans, and medical bills if your bank account runs dry? How will you get food to eat unless if you're on temporary assistance? It's impossible. In other words, you're still out of luck if you get no source of income. Now, I want to talk about the processes of applying to jobs, whether in person or online. I believe there's a disastrous waiting list for job applicants. It's basically like the respective establishments are just playing the lottery to see who will they interview and or hire. In this current generation where most of us in this world right now rely on technology, so it could call themselves, quote, making our lives easier. The concept of online applications to whatever establishment you submit your resume to is pretty sadistic. Why? Granted, it takes a short time to at least create a profile on whatever career website, but now what's next? Anyone who submits an online application would know this process is just a joke. Why? Chances are, even before a prospective workplace tries to call you, they just reply back to you in an email saying, well, so and so, we'd like to thank you for submitting your resume, but unfortunately we decided to pursue other candidates at this time. They might as well just say, you got an outstanding professional work background, but we cannot let you work for us. Go screw yourself, douchebag. Here's another problem. I was watching the State of the Union address a little while ago, and when it came to the Republican Party response, Representative Kathy McMorris Rogers made an explicit point about opportunity inequality. Yes, this problem has been an issue since the dawn of time, and I firmly believe in the year 2014, it's beyond an embarrassment to society. I put it this way, whatever happened to just at least giving a potential candidate a chance to come work for you? Why the hell do you have to give them the middle finger just because they're either not qualified, overqualified, or underqualified? And this is not just in jobs that requires experience. Oh no, what if you're applying to an employer that is basically offering an entry-level position? If you get a rejection letter simply because they say you need to have some kind of experience in that area, they're just simply playing around with you, just so you would not work for them at all. I hate to say this to the employers, but I gotta say this question. Am I not mistaken? I could have sworn the terminology of entry level is supposed to be defined as getting your foot in the door. Bottom line to employers, hire someone that wants to get their foot in the goddamn door. Do not write them off at all. And please, employers, don't feed anybody this garbage saying that the applicant must have X amount of years of experience in that field to work for you. That is unacceptable. And while we're at the case of jobs, I know there are jobs out there that everyone can't get what they want. I unfortunately fall in that particular percentage of people out there. I know for one thing, I can say that if you're a person fresh out of college who is either looking for a job in your field or looking for a decent job where you can at least have reasonable income, society wants to make you feel that you're an asshole. I hate to say this fact that nobody, especially college graduates, wants to spend the rest of their natural born lives working in a crappy fast food restaurant or retail store environment, especially if their prospective employers do not want to give them a promotion and or raise, and definitely in the case of them being out at work, they're definitely not guaranteed unemployment at all, which is a rare cause. Screw that. And keep in mind, these are hardworking individuals who desire to make a breakthrough in society and leave away from those misery and depressing crap holes. And when it comes to interviews, oh God, don't get me started. Here's a question. Whatever happened to just simply hiring folks? Why is it that every employer have to do some little thing just to keep folk out? Now, I understand there are prerequisites, but for Christ's sake, you're making a potential candidate trying to feel like they're of no value, especially since they're literally busting their rear ends looking for a job. Half of the questions the interviewees ask potential candidates are some of what the interviewees have no absolute clue of what they're talking about, and which would confuse the everlasting hell out of the candidate, in which that would result in an automatic reject from the get-go. An interview should be kept in simplest form without going all the way into left field. Another issue with job hunting that's very common is this. In big metropolitan areas such as Boston, New York, Chicago, or LA, how is it that when it comes to certain jobs, the travel can become an inconvenience when a lot of good paying jobs are outsourced in those suburban areas of those respective cities? Not everyone lives in those cities have a car, let alone public transit can become unreliable in very inopportune times, especially in the event where that individual comes home from work at night and buses stop running at a certain time of the day. I understand that people should at least apply for a job where it's convenient to get back and forth to, but even with that method, it's such a pain in the rear end, and I mean literally. You know what else is baloney? Who in their goofy minds wants to call themselves creating job boards over the internet when you have to pay a subscription fee for a job search? Really? If I want to find a job through a job board site, why the hell do I have to be obligated to get charged to use that site? Why the hell do I have to give out my credit score? I know why. So you dumb motherfuckers could at least scam the living crap out of me and make my life be made into a complete mud pile, so I would never get a good job at all. Now, I don't see that on well-known sites like Indeed or Career Builder. Typically, you will see those on lesser-known job boards such as Job Diagnosis or iHire Secretarial. And speaking of internet job boards, why the hell do you have to ask people if they're interested in furthering their education? What if they don't due to current financial reasons? Come on, let's get real. Now here's a question everyone wants to figure out. How long will this frustration of looking for a great job will any of us potential employment seekers will endure? You know what? I literally understand the pain and suffering. Nobody should be written off or get the middle finger thrown at them by any employer. Opportunity inequality in the workforce is just an embarrassment to society, and this is a damn good reason why society as a whole should be ashamed of themselves. I'm not ranting so I can make people feel sorry for me. This is just a topic I believe it should be addressed, and many people who have been consistently busting their asses with their job search for months on end. Now, I know some of you all out there would say things like, well, pray about it. You know what? I can pray about it as much as I can, but I can't do anything about it if I don't get the job I want. Yes, I can honestly say that I honestly believe in God, but even with that being said, I believe the good book also says faith without works is dead. In other words, I'm not expecting anything to just simply fall in my lap. You know what else is bull poopy? Even if employers want to hire you due to your qualifications and good citizenship, as well as a good interview, a good employment record, your ass is still prone to rejection, probably because of one little thing any employer should not give a flying flip about: the type of neighborhood where you live in. Now, I put it this way: if you live in a part of a metropolitan area where crime is a consistent problem and employers see your address, they would sure as hell give you the middle finger from the get go. Not everyone who lives in run-down neighborhoods are involved in gangs, drug wars, or just sitting on a porch all day drinking liquor. Not everyone who live in low-end communities have their pants sagging beneath their derriere, embarrassing other folks in public. So employers, stop being so prejudiced in that matter, because there are some potential candidates like myself who come from areas like these and really want to seek better life living from rough areas. One of these days, if you keep showing prejudice of hiring someone simply because of the neighborhood they reside in, you're definitely asking for a lawsuit up the ass from someone to the point where your business will become out of operation. That is my 2 cents of why I think job hunting sucks the biggest container of cat piss, horse dump, and pig vomit blended together. And some of us wants to say, is there really a ray of hope? Who knows? And will the struggle of a job search come to an end? I hope it will for everyone in the near future. I believe everyone deserves a chance to get their foot in the door no matter what place of employment they desire to work in. It's time to put an end to consistent employment rejection once and for all. This is KT signing off. I'll have a video review in about a few weeks.